We just spent a week on the newest cruise ship in the world, MSC World America.
And it was a beautiful ship. But in this video, we're gonna give you the things we really liked about this ship and the things we didn't like so much. Let's get started.
Okay, let's start with the ship itself, the layout, the different areas. First off, let me say, I think that what MSC did here was they took the best of all of the cruise ships that were already out there and combined them into one. So when you're on this ship, you're like, oh, well, this reminds me of this ship and this reminds me of that ship. And it flowed really well and it had lots of different areas and each area felt like it was its own area, if you know what I mean. Like especially the Promenade out on the back. I'm not gonna mention other cruise lines, but we all know what that reminds us of, right? But being out there, I loved the vibe out there. Whether you were out there in the morning having coffee or you were out there at night seeing the light show.
That was definitely probably one of my favorite spots on the ship for sure.
Yeah. And going all the way to the back on the lanai area, you could just sit there, watch the wake. I really love being on the aft of the ship and going out there and just seeing the waves, and there was comfortable seating out there. Really, really enjoyed the outdoor promenade.
Absolutely. So much to do. You always had something to do, something to look at. They had the sports bar right there. Then across the sports bar, I think it was called the All-Star Sports Bar, one of the best sports bars that I've ever been in on any ship, bar none. It was, you really felt like you were in a sports bar, like on land. Then it's funny, you look across the way there and you got a candy shop with a giant teddy bear and giant lollipops for the kids, right? Coffee shop down the way. You had a couple of restaurants there. It's just, anyway, you really felt immersed like you were in a shopping mall, but at sea. It's really wild. And the whole back of it was completely open and exposed to the ocean. It's a really cool experience.
Yeah, and that sports bar, we definitely spent a lot of time in that sports bar.
Yeah, we did. It seems like, you know, you always find these people that dwell the same way you do. We made a lot of friends, met a lot of great people on this cruise, by the way. Lots of great young and upcoming YouTubers, but really made some great connections. We all hung out in the sports bar. We all liked the same place. So they served really great. They had some domestic beer. Then they had a lot of good craft beers as well. Just a great selection of beers on tap.
And the layout was great because it had a wraparound bar, so you always could get a spot at the bar, or there was plenty of seating. And then there was like games in the back. You could order food. We never ordered food from there, but
they had darts.
I liked that they had all that.
A couple of booths where you could do darts, play cricket, and other dart games. And then they had a little back area like opened up to the back porch that was aft. And they had shuffleboard.
Yeah.
It was really nice size sports bar as well. And lots of TVs, of course.
And we were there off any sports season that we care to watch. We're football people. But there was also always games on. But even if you're not like, oh, I don't need to be in a sports bar, because we've said this before and people are like, I don't go on cruise ships to watch sports.
Who doesn't want to be in a sports bar?
Some people don't. But you know what? Even if you don't want to watch sports, it's still a cool environment.
That's right. It's a very cool environment. It's upbeat. It's a nice meeting place for people to get a first couple of drinks of the night before they venture out throughout the ship. It's a great spot for that. But boy, I can imagine what it's going to be like when football season starts, you know, or hockey season, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
But great. You can tell where we hung out at the most.
Yeah, that was our jam on the ship. But yeah, so inside and outside, that was just a really good, the promenade, we spent a lot of time out there.
Yeah.
And definitely you want to go out at night and see the light show. There was always live music out there. And even in the like mornings and afternoons, they did like yoga classes and other types of exercise classes right there on the deck, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, for all the exercise early bird junkies, they did that every morning. It was really cool to watch. I don't know how some of these people stretch like that, though. It's amazing. But yeah, then they had this cool slide that goes down all the way down to the promenade on deck. What was that, 8? 8, and all the way from 17 to 8, I think it was. Yeah, and I did that, and that was really fun. Ooh, spirals all the way down. It's a dry slide, but it's pretty fast. It was pretty awesome. And going back to the lights, the light show at nighttime, they have all these beautiful lights throughout the promenade, and they they go to music and stuff and flicker, and it's a really cool show. And I did this time lapse on it, and it's really just fun to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
And you can view it from the sports bar anywhere on the Promenade.
So Jason mentioned the dry slide. So let's jump up and talk about that upper deck, because there is a lot going on up there.
Yeah.
So that's called the Ocean Key deck, and it's all outdoors. So out there they have the jaw drop, which is the dry slide.
Yeah.
Goes all the way from the top to the bottom.
That was
the
fun.
Cliffhanger.
That was scary.
First, swing at sea, I guess you're gonna call it. It literally swings off the side of the ship.
You go out off the ship and you're looking down to nothing but water.
Yeah.
And you're swaying back and forth. And we did it. It was a beautiful hot day, but we did it, and it was freaky, y'all, but very exciting. There's an additional cost for that.
Yeah, that's
It's
only $5
per person. So
I didn't
it's
think that was too bad.
very well worth it.
But everything else on that upper deck is completely free. So there's a really cool ropes course. There are 3 water slides. And then there's like this kids play area, but also up there's lots of seating. There's a snack bar that they had all kinds of like fried like empanadas and
Yeah, like carnival food, sort of.
Yeah.
They had a little hot box. They had empanadas. They had, I call them meat pies.
and they had corn dogs.
They have
like
corn
mini
dogs and, just stuff for the kids and adults that you could snack on. Hot dogs, I believe they had. We never ordered anything from there, but we saw plenty of people ordering from there. You could get beverages, beer, whatever you want to drink there while you sit and watch the kiddies play, or you get on the slides yourself. But they have one of the slides was tube slides. You get on a tube and you go down it, and then they have one you just go down without the tube. We never did the slides, and we never did the sky walk thing, but
the ropes course.
The ropes course, that was cool though. It was a really nice ropes course. They had ones you zip line across and you're dangling from, and it was really cool looking one.
We were at this point where we just wanted to sit back and watch other people do
Yeah.
it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we did the cliffhanger, and I did the
dry slide.
the jaw drop.
Jaw drop.
Yeah, bleh, bleh.
You go inside of a shark's mouth. That's where the jaws comes from.
Yeah.
So, fun little play on a name there.
Well, that was cool. Really interesting deck. And then they have the, their private island is
Ocean Key.
And they have the lighthouse. Well, they had this really cool lighthouse mimicking that on that deck, along with some like slides wrapped around it, little dry slides for the little kiddies. So it was just really themed out and decorated like a little theme park on that deck.
Yeah, and then if you go behind the big slides, there is a kids play area. So obviously it was just me and him. We didn't have kids with us, but we kind of checked out that area. It's like, this is really awesome for children. And I've noticed all the MSC ships we've been on, they do a great job in this kids splash zone.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, I just want to like bring the grandkids on these ships just so they can play and we can sit and watch them or play with them or something.
No
it's
doubt.
A fun
It's
area.
absolutely a ship I would recommend if you have kids.
Yes.
For families. It's tons to do for the kids, and a lot of great seating and a lot of great spots to chill while you watch your kids enjoy it. But the kids splash pad was like, I wanted to get in it. It was really cool. I could see adults playing with the water cannons, blasting their kids and stuff. They had this really excellent misters and little waterfalls. It was a really great splash pad. And then behind that, inside, it was like this basketball court / skating rink / bumper cars. They used it was like a sportsplex, and with a little coffee shop and a little bar for the teenagers, and a little a game area that was kind of indoors, outdoors kind of. It was all tied into that deck. It was really cool. I forget the name of it.
I think they just called it a Sportsplex.
Yeah, Sportsplex. But anyway, it was super, super gnarly.
Yeah. So you can tell there's a lot to do for families on there. And we did check out the kids area. And if you are a family who likes Legos, our kids grew up with Legos. Like literally they were all over the floor. Yeah. It was crazy. But anyway, they have these Lego rooms where the kids can go in and play. There was one time I got to tour this with no kids in because they don't allow cameras with the children.
Yeah.
There was a line of kids begging to get in when it was time to open. So that says a lot for a kids
Not begging
club.
to get out, but begging to get in.
Begging to get in. That says a lot for a kids club.
That's right.
All right, so let's talk about the inside areas. So there is a 3-story promenade on the inside full of bars and restaurants and shops. And what was your favorite area over there?
I would definitely say the Gin House slash Masters of the Sea. It's basically a bar. It's 2 stories. The bottom story, I don't remember if it's deck 6, 7, maybe.
I think it's 7 and 8.
7 and 8, I believe. But it's in the Promenade. It was Masters of the Sea, which was like a pub, like an English pub. It had this old dark wood pub vibe with this amazing seating, lots of seating, great atmosphere. They would have guys play music there on their acoustics. They had a couple of different bands that were fantastic. Plenty of beers, domestic and craft beers.
And they
all
make their
different
own.
kinds. Yeah, lots. And it was a brewery, basically. And you could see this big old glass windows with their, whatever you call it. They were brewing beer there in the big old giant tanks. It's an amazing smell. But they had great music, lots of great beer, really cool hangout. One of my favorite spots to sit and vibe out in the evening. And then upstairs, and you could get to it from the bottom floor or you could get to it from the outside. Spiral staircase going up to deck, I want to say it's 8. And that was called the Gin House, where they have true mixologists that make you a wide variety. You have an extensive menu of these custom drinks that they'll make you. Or if you don't see anything that you like there, you can create your own custom drink and they'll do a version of that for you. And I'm talking, man, they're breaking out perfume bottles, rimming the rim with like lemon zest or orange rinds. They're really going fancy on these cocktails, so it's quite the experience.
Yes, and it's a very large cocktail too. So like the bowl is huge, and so you pick whatever type of gin you want, you pick whatever kind of tonic you want, and then if you want it fruity or whatever elements you want, and they create it. And so there's I think 2 or 3 different mixologists in there that make these drinks for you, and it was the highlight for a lot of people. We talked to a lot of
very popular. A lot of people were loving that spot. And it's cool because, like I said, it's a neat experience. The mixologists are all dressed up in tuxedos, and you really feel like you're getting something special.
Right.
Alisa got a drink, and like she said, they're huge and powerful. So they aim to
please. So, and just kind of mentioning this, most everyone who sails with MSC is going to have a drink package because they package like your cruise, your drinks, and your Wi-Fi all together. Yeah. And we thought that pretty much everything we ordered was included. Never did we order a drink and they were like, I'm sorry, that's not included in your drink package. Everything was included. I think they're starting to limit to 15 drinks a day, but we never came anywhere near that, so we didn't have a problem. I
drink beer. I don't drink a lot of whiskey anymore, so I can't tell you exactly what's on that list. I wish I did, but I don't know for sure. But I think I had a couple of shots, but
those were included.
Those are included, and I got some pretty good premium stuff.
And the gin drinks are included. Of course, all the beer is included. So we didn't have a problem with anything we ordered on that drink package.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Hope you don't have any problems either. So this is all stuff we really like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't mentioned any negatives just yet. And talking about the Promenade, that whole area, you can just sit at the bottom and people watch. Look up. If you look up, there's this giant screen on the ceiling that's always changing. So there's spiral staircases going down. Just the layout of this whole promenade area is very inviting.
Yeah, it's a vibe for sure.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, you see like stingrays and stuff.
Yes.
It's like animated swimming around and it constantly changing. And then you'll have like some like Jumbotron billboards to kind of make you feel like you're, like you'd see in Times Square.
Yeah.
Had 1 or 2 of those. It's a really cool vibe, make you feel like you're in a downtown street. One really cool place that I liked too was the burgers and pizza joint.
Oh yeah.
So after hours, when you were done having your fill of cocktails and laughter or dancing for the evening, venture on into the burgers and pizza joint and you can fatten up quite a bit, which is what we did. They have excellent pizza on MSC, which is one of our likes. To us, some of the best pizza, if not the best pizza at sea.
I'm going to say the best.
This is a place that you can go in the promenade. You don't got to go to the back of the ship to get it. It's right there. Stop off, get you some pizza, wings, corn dogs,
Burgers, hot dogs, ice cream,
all the late night goodies you want to
Yeah.
fill up on before you hit the sack.
Yeah, and it's open late. I think the latest we were there was probably 1 a.m., but I think it was open far beyond that.
Yeah, and they're constantly serving up
Yes.
hot, fresh pizza, variety of different kinds, and it's awesome pizza.
Yeah.
And the burgers were good too.
I don't think I tried a burger, but you did.
So
And
this was the first time I had a hot dog pizza, little round cuts of
yeah.
hot dog on a pizza. Let me tell you, that's good. You gotta try that. Especially late at night, right? 1 o'clock in the morning, calories don't really count. Let's be honest.
or at least you don't care.
The regret is thick the next morning, but you know what?
Another area in the Promenade area that we really enjoyed was the Loft. So in the Loft there, it is the comedy club, it is the karaoke spot, and it's the dueling piano. So it's got a multi-function use in there. And I think we didn't see
We saw the karaoke a little bit. We saw
The dueling
pianos, but we didn't do the comedy show. Again, it's got a little bar, and then it's got all this great seating. It's super ambient show.
It is.
All the nightclubs and stuff, the theming is really good, very ambient. I'm an ambience junkie, obviously, for nightlife. Then the stage was great. The dueling pianos were fantastic.
They were really good.
Great entertainment throughout the ship. I'm talking really good entertainment. All the shows that we saw were fantastic. But that particular venue was really cool. Yeah.
And just talking about the venues themselves, we didn't find that any of them were too small. Like they all had plenty of seating.
Lots of seating. You're right. It was rather big. For instance, the Loft. They had, if you couldn't see, they had a little room right next door that had a big TV. And it was kind of like a living room set up, and you're sitting on couches, and you could see on the TV the screen that was everything that was happening live next door. And it was all connected, but it was a little separate too. But you could sit there and watch it, so it was neat.
And several of these venues had outdoor spaces as well. So if you wanted to, go sit outside, you could still hear what was happening inside.
What was that
The
place?
Loft was one, and then the Champagne Bar.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. It had that really nice outdoor seating. Yeah, that was cool. It's a little more fancy, a little more chill. Great little bar, seating area to go have a nice cocktail. It's kind of like, I don't know, they kind of mixologist people there, kind of like an alchemy feel. They would really, if you like to drink great cocktails and just chill with some light jazz music and look outside and see the lamps flickering and the outdoor seating, and that's your vibe, real low key. That's a great spot, the Champagne Bar.
So I think they did a really good job with theming all of these different bars and restaurants, because everywhere that you went into, it had its own feel.
Oh, that one that bar across the hall there.
The Elixir.
The Elixir, which is in front of the eatery. That's cool. They have like a cigar room. You walk into this room, and when I went in, the cages were down, and they had premium cigars that you could pick from. I don't know how much they cost. But you can get cigars in there and smoke in there, but they create specialty cocktails in there too. So it's kind of like a gentleman's hall sort of, where you can go get a specialty cocktail and a nice stogie. Real upscale kind of vibe.
Yeah. While we're talking about bars, there is a secret speakeasy on this ship as well. And when I say secret, it's not just open where you can go in it. You have to be given a coin.
You have to be chosen.
And you can't ask for the coin. You can't just find a coin. Some member of the crew has to give you a coin. We got ours from the cruise director.
Yeah.
Dr. E.
Yeah.
And so
that was a nice surprise. We were sitting down in the Promenade after venturing around and just wanted to people watch and take it all in. Didn't even have any cameras or not, and here comes Dr. E, and he recognized us, we recognized him, we sat and visited with him for a little bit, did a little small, I didn't have my camera, but I had a little phone. We did a little, he's like, you're gonna interview me, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I don't have no equipment, but we'll do it on the phone, on the fly. And we did, that was interesting, and right then and there is when he gave us our coin, which was fantastic, and each person has to have a coin. But how you get these coins, from what I understand, is if you have a lot of personality, if you're recognized on that ship, you will be approached and say, you know what, you're cool. Here's a coin. We want you to come in and party with us at the speakeasy. Yeah. That's basically how you get it.
And that is a very cool spot. It's like nestled into the crew quarters. So you go through a phone booth.
Yeah.
and you have to dial this number.
The
and you
English
get to
red
go-
phone
yeah.
booths. You go in.
Yeah, and you have to have a special code. It's very secretive. But once you go in, there's a live band playing in there. It's very dimly lit. There's a special
Amazing
menu.
live band.
Just be aware, the drink package does not extend into the speakeasy. So whatever drink you order in there, you have to pay for.
And it's
they're pricey.
It's pricey, but this is a special experience. So you're gonna want, and these drinks, they don't make you a drink and just bring it to you.
No.
This is a drink that
has flair.
Like for instance, I got a smoked whiskey, and it came in like this lantern. They brought it on a plate, and it was like this lantern, and the lantern had glass all around it, and it was full of smoke. And then they would bring it up to me, and I opened the door, or they would open the door, and the smoke would come out, and I would reach in and get my glass. And hers came in like this, like
dispenser, like
vase
beautiful thing
with
that
a
you turn
dispenser.
the knob.
You turn a knob like a water hose knob outside your house, on the bibs. Turn it, and it would sprinkle out, and she would make her drink right there, pour her drink. But the band was amazing. They're literally it's really tight and small place, so
Very
it's
intimate.
really intimate. The atmosphere is amazing. Everybody that's in there is like
Happy to be there.
They were chosen to be there,
Yes.
so it's a party, man.
It's cool. It's so cool.
And the hardest part's trying to find your way back to the regular ship, because it's like a maze when you leave there.
Yeah.
You get lost. You're kind of wandering around like behind the scenes area where the crews
Yeah, it's in the crew
dwell.
quarters. Yeah.
And me and a buddy of mine, Tim, we're like, how the hell do we get out of here? We had a little bit to drink, That was a really cool experience. And I hope that you're chosen to get to see it, because it's awesome.
It really is. And I think that's something, these special experiences that more cruise ships should do.
Yeah.
I think
something you remember.
Yeah, it's very memorable. It's something that you look forward to, and you're like always, ooh, how do I get a coin? How do I get a coin? So neat experience. Very cool experience.
So that was a big, fat, juicy like.
It was. It absolutely was.
Yeah, it's all about likes right now.
We haven't had any negatives just yet.
If you we don't really look for the negatives. That's
really
the problem. We're suck at giving y'all the dislikes, but we're like, there's a couple of things.
I have one or two that we'll get to eventually. Okay, so overall, obviously, we like the layout of the ship. We thought that it flowed really well. This is a big ship. It can hold 7,000 people. So they made the venues larger. They made more areas, more restaurants, more bars, so you can spread out. The one area that I thought was a little smaller is the theater. And their solution for that is they do the same show multiple times, and there is a reservation system on the app. So that way you can say, okay, I want to see Dirty Dancing. Because that's their signature show is Dirty Dancing, and you definitely want to see that. I saw it. Very good. And you just go on the app and you reserve your seat, so you have a spot, and it's not a problem. So the theater is small, but they have, like I said, they have a solution for that. And I thought they did a great job with Dirty Dancing. So there's two different versions of this. There is a daytime matinee on a C day, and basically it is the full, almost 2-hour movie shown on a screen, and then they're live singing and dancing along with it. So that was really cool how they did that. So sometimes they'll just break off where it's a talking part of the movie, and you're just watching the movie. And then when the music parts come on, all the singers and dancers come out. So I thought that was really cool. And then for a shorter version in the evenings, they do like a 35-minute kind of highlight reel of all the music. And
which did you like better?
I think I like the shorter one better.
I heard mixed reviews about the one and about the movie. I heard it went on a little long, or wasn't what they expected. There was a lot of people that didn't like that as much as they thought they were, but you have to see for yourself.
I think if going into it, I'm sitting down for 2 hours to watch a movie, and I'm going to see some entertainment. But if going into it, it's okay.
If that's your thing.
Yeah, if you really love that movie and you want to see the whole experience, definitely do that.
My attention span is not that long.
I'll be honest, I stayed for half of it.
Yeah.
So just kind of throwing that out there.
Teach their own.
But the 35-minute show in the evening was fantastic, because it's a good amount of time. The show that they put on, and it's not just people on the stage. They're all around you. They're dancing in the aisles. They've got platforms up in the audience where they get up and dance on. So I thought that was fantastic. The singers and dancers were really good, and there's a live band that plays with them as well.
Yeah, the entertainment was great throughout the ship.
Yeah,
all really good.
Oh, and then there's two different theater venues. So that's the main theater, but on the back of the ship is the other
Is that one that was just
theater.
past the casino?
Yes.
Okay, we saw a show in there.
We saw the Queen show in there. And again, it's all over. They're up and down the aisles. They're,
That was good.
And they're, what do they call, like acrobats almost? Coming up and down.
Yeah, on the ropes,
Yeah.
swinging around on the ropes, going up and down on the ropes, running up through the crowds. It was very interactive.
Yes.
Very immersive. They brought you to the show, brought you into the show. It was really cool. And of course, they have a full bar back there.
Mm-hmm.
The bar staff was great. The service was good.
Yes.
In the shows, by the pool. So you weren't waiting long for anything. That's for sure. The crew did a great job
They
there.
really did. Okay, pools. Let's talk about pools. There are multiple pools on this ship. So there's the main pool deck. Obviously, everyone's
I know
got a
what
main
your
pool
favorite
deck.
pool was.
I know. And so the main pool deck, it's huge. And
It's gigantic.
Why don't more cruise ships put a big pool in? MSC does a great job of this as well. I've noticed this on their other
What I liked
ships.
about this one is it was not only was it big and wide because it's a giant ship, it's one of their mega ships. They had the big pool there, and then above the next deck, which was like 17, they had hot tubs.
Yes, big hot tubs.
Big, large hot tubs. Usually the hot tubs are just too small on these giant ships. It's like, really? You're going to give us a little small bowl to sit in? Come on, there's a lot of people on this ship. Make them bigger. Well, MSC did that. Plenty with a little bridge that you could walk across the middle, so it was kind of separated. So they kind of separated everybody. We got in the pool just once, but it was gigantic. Plenty of covered seating, shaded seating.
Lots of seating all around the pool. So you've got the pool deck and then the upper pool deck.
They had some beds around the pool you could kind of lay down that were padded. It was really nice.
Oh, I have a negative. You can't bring drinks in the pool.
Yeah.
Like not even a Coke.
Yeah,
I just had a Coke in my hand and they were like, no, you can't bring
that
that
part
in the pool.
sucks.
So that's like...
Because like if you go, because I went and laid on the bed and I'm like, excuse me, can I get a drink? I forgot. And they're like, oh no, I can't. I'm like, so I can't lay on this bed at the pool on a beautiful sunny day floating out in the Caribbean and have a beer?
No.
I got to get up and walk over there and sit down and that part, it just doesn't make sense to me. As long as you got aluminum cans or plastic cups, what's the harm in it, right?
Yeah.
But they will not allow that. I just think that's dumb.
Or the hot tubs.
Not a fan of that. Or the hot tub, yeah. They need to go back to allowing people to have drinks. I'm sure they have their reasons. Don't care. I want my drink in the hot tub. One cool thing that they did was they had kind of some theater seating towards the back. Like I remember our very first cruise was the Carnival Triumph.
A long time ago.
And it was kind of like that same vibe where it steps down into the main pool area. But that was cool. And then they had 2 hot tubs off those areas as
and
well.
they were like hidden
so
little
4
hot
tubs. Yeah, they're kind of hidden in this little nook. You walk up the stairs a little bit and off to the right. They had one, and then on the left side, port and starboard side, they had the tubs. A lot of people were sitting up there because you can kind of look down. It's a good viewpoint. Yeah.
But that's the outdoor pool. There's an indoor pool.
Which was amazing.
I like the indoor pool. And it has, that indoor pool does have a retractable roof. It's called like the Botanic Garden pool. So that pool is smaller than the outdoor pool, but still a good size. And then it
Really
also
big.
has those big hot tubs inside in the shade.
It's got 2 smaller ones with this like really neat net contraption over it. So
in there.
So you kind of, that was neat. And then they had the 2 big ones, which on this particular sailing, there was a lot of kids.
Yes, spring break.
It was spring break. And so there was like 80 kids in one hot tub. So we'd be like, nah, we're going to wait till a little later in the evening. But you can always pick times where there's nobody in it, right?
Yeah, we absolutely, one night, we're like, you know what? We don't feel like it was like formal night. And we're like, nah, we're not feeling it. Let's put on our swimsuits and go get in that empty hot tub.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic.
But they were huge hot tubs, and the kids there had to probably be 50 kids and teenagers in those hot tubs. So they had a great time.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, and it's always fun to see people having a wonderful time. But that was a really cool area. We spent a lot of time in there relaxing in the hot tub and just sitting on the beds. Tons of comfortable lounges and seating. And then just up the stairs, they have the second floor looking down at the pool. They have the botanical bar, whatever you call it. That's where the bar is. And then they had some ping pong and some foosball.
And so there are also adult-only pools. So on the upper deck, all the way aft, there are 2 pools, one on each side, overlooking that,
They're small.
that promenade. Yeah, they're small, and there's no shade up there. So I'll be honest, didn't get in those because I'm a shade girl. But there are adult-only pools, so I think that's good.
Yeah, wasn't my favorite adult pool setup. It just wasn't for me, but I'm sure some people really like it. I felt they were separated and they were smaller. I didn't get into that too much, but
yeah, we liked the main pool areas better than the adult areas.
Yeah.
I think if there was some shade up there,
well,
that
they
would
have
been
these
nice.
like little
canopies,
arbor,
Yeah.
kind of with beds.
Those are nice.
but they're not covered. But they have some, like a pergola,
Yeah.
an uncovered pergola. So you could it cast a little bit of shade, but still.
But in the pool, there's no shade.
And the smoking section was wrapped around that
It
area
was.
as well. There was a couple
Yes.
of smoking sections. One was at the Promenade aft on 8, too. So there's a huge smoking section. There's a lot of smoking sections on this ship, by the way.
Yeah.
I guess the Italians like to smoke.
So you smokers, you got like prime
Primo.
smoking locations.
Prime
on
real
this
estate
ship.
smoking. One thing I really liked was the 2 buffets.
Yes.
That was nice because it didn't feel so congested.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that because there's the big buffet on 18. I mean, it's massive.
And then the smaller one,
And then the smaller buffet on 19 is
which
only
opens early.
Yes, it opens earlier and it's only open for breakfast and lunch, where the big one's open for dinner as well. And we are buffet people. We like the buffet because it's quick, it's easy, and usually the food quality is the same as what you're going to get in the main dining room without waiting. And we had great food experiences in these buffets.
Yeah, and both of them had a little, like the main buffet on what deck? Let's see, on the bottom.
18 and 19.
Okay, the main buffet had a little bit more variety than the smaller.
Because it was bigger.
Yeah, so like you may get tacos on the main buffet, but not the small one. But it was cool because they kind of separated the folks.
Yep.
And it wasn't so congested. And they have some nice outdoor seating, some balcony seating that
Yes.
looks down into the promenade as well. And after the ship, some great outdoor seating looking out aft as well, out to the beautiful ocean.
You know what's on both buffets?
Pizza!
Honestly, MSC does have the best pizza at sea. It's something that you have to try.
I mean, I think the pizza at the Burgers and Pizza joint is better than the buffet pizza.
I think I agree with
Is it
you
the
on
same?
that. I think it's probably the same. Maybe it's because we were
Maybe
eating
they
it
put a
late
little
at
bit more
night.
love, or maybe a little more
I don't
sauce,
know.
a little more cheese. I don't know what it was, but of course, that was after a night of, having a couple of cocktails. Maybe it just tasted better. I don't think so, though. But anyway, do you think the buffet pizza is not as good as the Burgers and Pizza place?
I had some good pizza up there too, so
Okay.
we'll see.
All right. Anyway, I liked the 2 buffets.
Yes. Okay, talking about food overall, if you included food,
Yeah.
the main buffet on 18, the smaller buffet on 19, the pizzas and burgers is all included. There is food out by the play area on deck 20, all that's included. There is a little snack bar on the promenade that's open sometimes with like cotton candy and popcorn. That's all included. And of course the main dining rooms are included, and there's multiple main dining rooms on this ship. Here's another negative. A table for 2 is a joke. A table for 2, there's this much space in between each table for 2.
Table for 2 means table for 8, but with a crack in the table.
Correct.
So I don't, especially with us, we have to vlog what we do,
and it makes people uncomfortable sometimes.
and it puts people off sometimes. And when we're making people uncomfortable around us, it just takes away from our experience. Let's be honest. And so we just simply asked can we move at a different table? And most of the time,
we only
did it once because we weren't enjoying that experience. We're just
No.
not main dining room people.
We
love either the specialty dinings or the buffet.
buffet.
The main dining room, let's be honest, it just takes too long. And the food's just okay. And you're sitting next to too many people. And it sucks.
And you're forced to make conversations with people sometimes, and it's just an uncomfortable situation for us, and that's just why we don't do it. So
We're people, we don't mind that, but sometimes people don't know when to stop talking.
or even like nothing to do with the cameras, but sometimes you just get seated with people that just want to talk the whole time, and you're trying to have a dinner with your husband,
Trying to chill.
and
Yeah.
it's just weird. Anyway, specialty dining, you don't have that problem.
We don't want to talk to you right
now. Sit you at a table by yourself on specialty dining, and I think that's why we like it better.
Okay, what else did we not like? There was something. See, when we're on the ship, we're like, oh, we got to put this down as things we don't like.
But honestly, me and Jason are both very positive people, and we don't look for the negatives. If something really has to stand out to us that we don't like the table for two, that bothered us.
Oh, I know what it was.
What?
I don't like the fact that the elevator door closed so fast.
Oh, you've got to be Johnny on the spot with those elevators, and you've got to be like, okay, what door's gonna open? Okay, and you got to run for it. If you're not fast, you're going to miss that elevator.
And you got 5 seconds, and it comes in hot, closes in hot, and you got to put your body in front of it because it'll move you out the way if you don't. But I'm telling you, everybody was like on their toes because they knew how fast those elevators were.
Yeah, so just word of warning for you guys that can't move very quickly.
So many people are like having their cocktails and talking, and the elevator would open and close, and be like, "Damn,
I missed it." Press the button again.
Yeah. What else was there? Some casinos. We're not casino goers. I guess one day we will be, but it was a nice. It looked like a very nice casino with a really nice bar, good size casino.
And it's a non-smoking casino. There is a smoking area that's glassed in for you smokers.
Which just makes sense.
It really does.
Let's be honest. Non-smokers don't like the inhale that mess.
Well, and it's not just the casino.
Or smell it.
Yeah, but
we don't want to smell that.
Having an indoor smoking space like that, it's not going to stay in the casino. It's going to drift out to the rest of the ship. So having a non-smoking casino with a smoking section makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So they can go sit in their little cloud of smoke and not bother us non-smokers. I was a smoker for 25 years, so don't give me no lip.
So he can actually say that.
That's right. Let's see, what else? We liked the room was okay.
So the room itself, I thought was a nice sized room. I thought that there was plenty of, it didn't feel tight. Even, walking around the end of the bed, I mean, it wasn't a huge space, but it wasn't too tight. The mirror was a little strange.
There's a big mirror at the foot of our bed.
Yeah, that was a little, I'm not going to say it's a negative, it was just weird. And
well, it could be a negative or a positive, depending.
Depending on you, you know?
I mean, if you're into that kind of thing.
Do you like the mirror?
You like to watch yourself.
But the mirror did make the room feel bigger, having that large mirror.
I didn't mind the mirror.
I didn't mind it. It was just weird.
I just chalked it up to pure vanity. It's like,
oh, look at me.
God, I look like crap tonight. But it was a typical cruise room, standard balcony. I'm just used to it. I really didn't have any issues with any of that.
Good room, comfortable room.
One cool thing I liked, we discovered later, I think it was like the last day or a couple of days towards the end of the cruise, is you walked out of our room, we were kind of aft. Go on down.
Oh, yeah.
On every deck, you can go all the way down to the end of the hall, the halls that have the glass, you know what I'm talking about. And you go all the way down to that glass, and you look to your left, and you open up the door, and there's a private balcony for anybody to use.
Yeah.
I don't know how many decks.
Very after the ship.
Yeah, very, very after the ship. So you can go out there and have a nice coffee in the morning. So that's kind of like a little secret spot. A buddy of mine that I met on the ship, he told me about it. And I was like, I had no idea. I'd seen that glass at the end of our hallway. Never thought about walking towards it. And I did. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And you can go out there and get some great pictures of sunset, sunrises. Yeah, so that was a cool little secret spot.
So overall, this is our thoughts on MSC World America. We obviously liked the ship.
Yeah.
We've got more positive than negative to say about it. I think we had a great experience. Getting on and off the ship was actually very easy considering how many people were on board. We thought the, port day experience was pretty good. The terminal, oh my God, the terminal that they built in Miami for this ship
Super
is
nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Very easy to get, if you're going to get an Uber or whatever, they've got nice space on, inside the terminal, so you're not getting rained on.
Real quick, I remembered one thing I didn't like. It doesn't have the wraparound deck.
Oh yeah, these mega ships don't.
And it doesn't have a jogging track. I mean, what were they using for the jogging track? Anyway, they were walking around on the top decks. And they didn't really have a designated jogging track, and they didn't have the walk around deck for walkers. That's a big deal for me. I enjoy
we do like that.
To walk and jog on the cruise ships early in the morning. And there's a lot of people that do. For some of you that don't worry about that, it doesn't bother you. But I miss that. I think every ship should have one walk around ship.
Yes.
It's just
I do like that.
Gives it a ship vibe to me. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I was throwing that out there. It does not have that.
I forgot about that.
I'm
glad you said that.
Yeah. But all in all, we love the ship. It's a beautiful ship.
Yes.
Gorgeous from the outside.
Oh, it's
very
gorgeous.
sleek looking ship. Oh, man. Food was good, great entertainment.
Yes.
The staff was great. The crew was great. The service was good. Lots of pools. Great ship for kids and families. Lots of specialty dinings, lots of great pubs, places to drink beer, the sports bar, candy shops, coffee shops, you name it. This ship has got it. I'm telling you, I would absolutely cruise this ship again. MSC has proven to be one of our favorite cruise lines. We enjoy cruising them for sure.
Yeah, we have. We've sailed with MSC as our third time, and we've had great experiences every time.
Try new ships.
Yeah.
Try different things. You know, the price point's pretty good too. So it's definitely worth a try if you're looking for a different cruise line. Want to try something different? Absolutely, give MSC a shot. Specifically, World of America. That was awesome. Or World America. I always call it World of America, but it's World America. People.
World America.
So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time.
Yep, and leave a comment down below. Let us know if you have sailed on one of these first sailings
What are your
World
dislikes?
America, if you are going to be sailing on World America, or if you have any questions.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.